It's 12:47 a.m. on a dead quiet Iowa farm. Rain is drumming on a tin roof, thunder rolling in the distance like slow artillery. You and your wife are 3 bottles of wine deep, half asleep on the couch, John Wayne still writing across the TV screen in grainy color. The only light for 50 miles in any direction is the one above your porch, and it just flickered. Then out of absolute nowhere, bam bam bam, 3 knocks so hard the front door jumps in its frame, and the pictures on the wall rattle like someone shook the whole house. Out here, the nearest neighbor is half a mile of corn away. Nobody knocks at this hour don't happen. They just don't. But tonight they did. And what was waiting on the other side of that door still wakes me up screaming. My name's not important. Around here people just call me Cheryl's husband. We've lived on this same 180 acres spread outside Buckingham, Iowa since we got married in '96. Corn, beans, hogs, repeat, that's been our life. We know every creak in the floorboards, every coyote call, every sound the wind makes when it cuts across the fields. That night in August 2018 started out perfect. We had George and Lisa over, our neighbors half a mile north, for euchre and way too much whiskey. By 11 p.m. everybody was 3 sheets to the wind, laughing so hard Lisa snorted. They left with the usual drive safe, it's just 30 seconds straight down the gravel. Their tail lights disappeared into the corn like always. Cheryl and I opened one last bottle of cheap Cabernet, the kind with the screw cap because we were classy like that, and threw on True Grit. We were both slurring, giggling, planning to just pass out right there on the couch with the dog between us. The rain had started, soft at first, then harder, drumming on the roof like fingers. That's when the first knock came. 3 hard, deliberate raps, pause, 3 more. The dog lifted his head and growled low, something he literally never does at coyotes or coons. Cheryl froze, the color drained out of her face so fast I thought she was having a stroke. I tried to play it cool, probably George forgot his phone again. But my heart was already jackhammering. I killed the TV volume and we sat there in the sudden silence, rain pounding, thunder grumbling. 20 full seconds passed. Then bam 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 again, louder, and a man's voice muffled through the door. Hello sir, ma'am, please, my wife and I are lost. Car broke down, we just need to use a phone. Cheryl dug her nails into my arm so hard I still have tiny scars. She shook her head violently, the universal wife signal for do not open that door. I've been married 22 years, I know when to listen. I tiptoed to the door in my socks, shotgun still upstairs, stupid. Who is it? My wife and I, please, it's pouring out here. The voice sounded off, trying too hard to be polite, a little too high-pitched like someone pinching their nose. Put your wife on, let me hear hers. Dead silence except for the rain. She's back at the car checking the engine, not right next to me right now. That lie hit me like a slap. Whoever was out there was alone or lying through their teeth. I forced a drunk laugh. George, you asshole, if that's you, quit screwing around. The voice dropped half an octave, almost relieved. Yeah man, it's me. My stomach dropped. George has a voice like a gravel road, this wasn't even close. Cool, then what's Lisa's middle name? 5 full seconds of silence. Then a completely different voice, colder, closer to the door, almost whispering. That's a trick question. I backed up so fast I tripped over the coffee table. Cheryl was already dialing 911 with shaking fingers. I hit George's real number. He picked up on the second ring, instantly alert. Talk to me. Somebody's on my porch pretending to be you right now. I'm grabbing the 12 gauge, 25 seconds. While we waited, we heard them. Slow, deliberate footsteps creaking across the wraparound deck, first 1 set, then 2, then 3. A hand slid along the kitchen window screen, scritch, 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 testing the latch. Another set stopped outside the living room window and tapped the glass 3 times, gentle, almost playful. Cheryl whispered into the phone, they're trying the windows now. The dispatcher kept saying stay inside, units en route, but out here en route can mean 45 minutes. I bolted upstairs 2 steps at a time, heart in my throat, yanked the Mossberg 500 from the closet, racked a shell so loud it echoed through the whole house like a cannon. I leaned over the banister and roared, I've got a shotgun and I will paint this porch with the next son of a bitch who touches my house. The footsteps stopped dead. 5 beautiful, perfect seconds of silence. Then George's real voice, winded and furious, open the damn door, it's me. He burst in, rain dripping off him, sweeping the porch with his own shotgun. Truck headlights cut across the yard, nothing. No footprints in the mud, no tail lights disappearing down the road, no movement in the corn, just the rain and the smell of gun oil. Whoever was out there vanished the second they heard tires on gravel. The deputy finally showed up almost an hour later, walked the porch once with a flashlight, shrugged, and said, "Probably just kids, get some cameras." We bought 8 the next day, motion lights, sirens, the whole deal. 6 years later, I still check every lock 3 times. I still sleep with the shotgun on my side of the bed. Because a flimsy wooden door and one hell of a bluff was all that kept whatever was shopping for victims that night from coming inside. Story 2, 7 masks and a cow head surrounded by candles. Iowa, summer 2018. I was 16 years old in the summer of 2018, thinking I was hot stuff, making $100 watching my grandparents' 300-acre corn and cattle farm while they visited cousins in Florida. 4 nights alone. No big deal. The last night I'm kicked back on the couch, every light in the house blazing because I'm totally not scared of the dark, watching Stranger Things with the volume low. Around 12:30 a.m. the cows start going berserk. Not normal mooing, full-on panic screaming like they're being slaughtered. Then one single cow lets out this high-pitched, almost human shriek that makes my blood freeze. I mute the TV, the dog is hiding under the table whimpering. I run upstairs, hands shaking so bad I drop the magazine twice, finally slam it home in Grandpa's .308, grab the maglite and step outside. The air smells like ozone and wet dirt. One cow is missing from the barn, rope sliced clean like someone took a box cutter to it. Another scream comes from the middle of the corn, 12-foot walls of green on every side of the house. And underneath the scream, voices, whispering, laughing, a lot of them. I fire 2 shots straight up, boom boom, the muzzle flash lights up the yard like lightning. Everything goes dead silent for 4 heartbeats. Then I hear it, dozens of footsteps running through the dry stalks, circling the house like sharks. I walk in anyway, because it's family land, because I'm 16 and stupid brave. 10 rows deep my flashlight catches them, 7, 8, maybe 10 figures in matte black hoodies and smooth, blank white porcelain masks. No mouth holes, no eye holes painted on, just dead, smooth faces glowing in the moonlight like ghosts. I level the rifle, voice cracking, "Get the hell off our property or I swear to God." The closest one tilts its head like a curious dog, then starts walking toward me slow, arms slightly out like he's calming a spooked horse. The others fan out, forming a loose ring. Then they start chanting low, rolling in a language that feels wrong in my ears, almost pretty, almost a lullaby, but it makes my teeth hurt. I empty the rest of the magazine over their heads, corn exploding everywhere, drop the rifle and sprint. Stalks whipping my face, slicing my arms, lungs burning. I burst out near the machine shed and almost puke on the spot. 20 yards away, right where the rows open up, is the missing cow's head sitting in the dirt. Eyes wide, tongue lolling, surrounded by a perfect circle of black candles still burning straight up even though the wind is howling. I don't remember running back to the house, lock every door, call 911, then my parents. I sit on the porch with the empty rifle across my lap, sobbing like a baby until red and blue lights finally cut through the dark 2 hours later. Cops found boot prints heading every direction, north, south, east, west, like the group scattered the second I started shooting. Grandpa put up 16 cameras and floodlights that could land a 747. I still can't drive past a cornfield after dark without feeling those blank white faces watching me. Story 3, he took our picture while we were asleep from inside the house. My name is Howard. I'm 25 now, but everything I'm about to tell you happened in July 2024 when I was still 24 and thought I had life figured out. My parents had finally taken their first real vacation in 15 years, a 7-day Caribbean cruise they'd been saving for since I was in diapers. That left me, my 19-year-old sister Crystal, the responsible one who was taking online college classes, and my 17-year-old sister Morgan, the one who still slept with a nightlight, in charge of our little 40-acre family farm outside a nowhere town in rural Arkansas. It's not a big operation, a dozen chickens, a huge vegetable garden my mom babies like a 4th child, 2 dogs, Rusty and Blue, and 40 acres of feed corn that turns the whole world green from June to September. The nearest neighbor is a 1.5 miles down a dirt road that washes out every time it rains hard. At night when the crickets shut up, you can hear a pin drop in Oklahoma. The first 4 nights were fine, hot as Satan's armpit, but fine. We grilled, played cards, let the dogs sleep inside because of the heat. Normal summer stuff. Then came night 5s. Around 11:30 p.m. I was in the living room scrolling TikTok when both dogs suddenly explode off the couch like someone lit a firecracker under them. They bolted to the back door, chains rattling, barking so hard their voices cracked. Not the normal "there's a coon" bark, this was pure panic. Hackles up, teeth flashing, the works. I grabbed Dad's AR-15 from the gun safe. He drilled it into my head since I was 12. "If you ever have to use it, don't hesitate," flipped on the back floodlight and stepped onto the porch barefoot. The second my foot hit the wooden planks I heard it, a low, slow whistle drifting out of the corn. Ring around the Rosie, but warped off-key like someone was dragging the notes through mud. I racked the bolt clack-clack and fired one round straight up. The muzzle flash lit the yard white for half a second. Dogs shut up instantly. I screamed every cuss word in the book, voice cracking with adrenaline, feeling like an absolute badass. Strutted back inside like I just won the Super Bowl. Crystal looked up from her laptop. You good? Yeah, I grinned, handled it. 10 minutes later, the dogs lost their minds again, louder, frantic, throwing themselves against the back door like they were trying to dig through it. I yanked the door open, rifle up, and there he was. A guy in a black hoodie, hood up even though it was 85 degrees and humid, standing maybe 20 yards from the porch, right where the yard meets the corn. Just staring, not moving, not blinking that I could tell, like a damn mannequin. I screamed, get the hell off our land. He tilted his head slow, then turned and walked backward into the corn. Not ran, walked, like he had all night. We locked every door, every window, dead bolts, chains, the whole bit, called Dad on FaceTime. He answered in a bathrobe on the cruise ship, drink in hand, but the second he saw our faces, the smile dropped. Howard, you're the man of the house now, you protect your sisters. You hear anything else, you fire again, I'm proud of you, son. We left every light in the house blazing, brought both dogs inside. Crystal took the couch with Rusty, Morgan took the recliner with Blue, and I camped out in the hallway with the AR across my lap. I cracked my bedroom window just a hair because Arkansas in July is a sauna and the AC was struggling. Worst decision I ever made in my life. 2:03 a.m. I'm half dozing when that whistle starts again, slow, mocking, drifting up from directly under my window. Same warped ring around the Rosie. I jerk the curtain back and there he is, same black hoodie, strolling across the backyard like he's taking a Sunday walk after church. He stops dead center in the yard, looks straight up at my second-story window and keeps whistling. Doesn't miss a single note, just stares. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the rifle. I stuck the barrel out the window and put a round in the dirt 2 feet from his boots. Dirt and grass exploded like a grenade. He didn't even flinch at the muzzle flash. Just finally turned and jogged toward the front of the house, disappearing around the corner. I screamed down the hall, he's gone, he's gone. My voice cracked like I was 13 again. We didn't sleep the rest of the night. Sat in the hallway with the lights on and the guns loaded until the sun came up. 6:12 a.m. We're all zombies shuffling out to feed the chickens. That's when we saw it. A single faded Polaroid photo nailed to the barn door with a 6-inch rusted spike, the kind we use for fence posts. The picture was taken from inside the house, from the hallway pointed toward our 3 bedrooms. You can clearly see me passed out against the wall with the AR across my lap, Crystal curled up on the couch with Rusty, and Morgan in the recliner with Blue. The clock on my nightstand, visible through the open bedroom door, reads 2:17 a.m., 14 minutes after I fired that last shot. Whoever took that picture was inside the house while we thought we were safe. The sheriff showed up, kicked the dirt a few times, took the Polaroid in a Ziploc bag and said the words that still make my blood boil. Probably just teenagers pulling a prank. Kids do dumb stuff in the summer. We moved to Little Rock exactly 2 months later. Sold the farm to some corporation out of Nebraska. I still wake up in my apartment some nights reaching for a rifle that isn't there, listening for that slow, warped whistle drifting through the dark. Some fields remember your name long after you leave them. And sometimes when the wind is right, they whisper it back to you. Sleep tight, y'all. And whatever you do, don't crack that window.